guys, if you need some help with instruments, the orchestra lessons, or with jazz lessons, or just really anything to entertain your fourth graders as we're getting to the end of the year, then you are in the right place, because today we're talking about fourth grade music lessons for the month of April, and that includes jazz and it includes instruments of the orchestra. So we are working on percussion and brass in these lessons, and it is for the whole month because I see my students for a week at a time. So I see them like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then the next week I have a different set of students. So it's a kind of a funky schedule, but it's a month at a time. That's all you really need to know. So today we're talking about my fourth grade lessons for April, and again, we're doing jazz and we're doing brass and percussion instruments families. We did woodwind and strings last time, so I will leave that video linked down below, and let's get started. So for my fourth graders, on Monday, we are hybrid on Monday. So we're hybrid Monday, Tuesday, and sometimes Wednesday, and distance learning Thursday and Friday, and sometimes Wednesday. Don't ask. So on Monday, we get started with the song Take 5. So this is a lesson I learned from a music teacher in my county, but when I collaborated with my friend Jess over at Music and Motivate to bring you a whole bunch of jazz lessons, she actually also knew this one, so she mentioned it. So I will leave the link to her video down below so you can check hers out. And she did some fun extensions with it, but I'll just show you what we did. So Take 5 is in 5/4, like 5/4. So it has a 5-beat pattern. So I teach them, the first one we do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we continue with that. And then when it starts with the main theme, the then we switch to it's supposed to be like a passing game, but since we can't pass things because of COVID, instead we're doing clap, right, left, front, clap, because it would be grab, right, left, front, grab, right, left, pass, clap. I think that's what it would be. But instead we're doing clap, right, left, front, clap, clap, right, left, front, clap. So we do each of those with the song, and then if they're doing a really good job, then we'll reverse it when it gets to kind of the B section, which you'll hear it when it goes in. So then we'll do clap, left, right, front, clap, which is just makes it even more fun. But we may not get there depending, like this today we did not. After that, I talk about how we're gonna talk about jazz music and just a brief like, hey, this is what jazz is. And I'm like, we're gonna listen to a jazz song. And so I played Blue Skies by Ella Fitzgerald because it's just an oldie and a goodie. And also I used it to teach them about jazz when they were little. So a lot of them remembered it, which is just really good for that recall and be like, oh, hey, I know what jazz is. And so we just listen and keep the beat for a little bit. And after that, we are looking at my jazz Google Slides lesson on Teachers Pay Teachers. So you can grab this, I will link it down below. Each of the little people, when you click on them, takes you to a different section of the Google Slides. And so it's like 5 different sections of the lesson basically. And so we go through and we look at the slides that tell you what jazz is. I have the kids read it to me, so I'll just be like, where's jazz from? And they're like, oh, New Orleans. Yeah. So that just is more entertaining than if I do it myself. And we talk about how the big thing about jazz is that it took so many different styles of music and meshed them together in something that is unique and also very unique to the United States of America, which is really cool because most of the music we listen to, I feel like, is not from the US. So it's kind of nice to have one that like actually is from our hometown, from our home country, if you live in the US. So we just talk about that, and we listen to the different instruments. So we go through the piano, we go through the bass and the trombone and the trumpet and the saxophone and the drums, and just listen to them really quickly because again, we're doing that whole like instruments of the orchestra thing, so we want to make sure we got that. And after that, we do some improvisation. So we say like, oh yeah, jazz has lots of improvisation, and I do this really simple improv activity where it's just a call and response. So I do 8 beats and they do 8 beats. And now how I usually start this is I'll have them echo me, and then I'll say, great, this time I'm gonna do something, can you do something completely different? And so we'll do that a couple of times because it does take a minute for them to figure that out. And then we do it with the music. So I found this like 12-bar blues backing track on YouTube, and so it just plays through the 12-bar blues over and over. I will leave the link to the YouTube video down below. And so we just do that, and I play 8 beats and they play 8 beats, we start by using body percussion, like clapping and snapping and that kind of stuff, and then I usually give the kids in-person instruments, and the kids at home can go find boxes and stuff like that to use as instruments if they want, or they can continue to clap. And they love this, and I will say, if you try it, I highly recommend you like kind of give them a few minutes to get into it, because at first they're gonna be like, what is this? Like, I'm making up my own thing, what's happening? But once they get kind of into it, then they'll start being more creative. So I had kids with like rhythm sticks, and towards the end they were like banging on the floor and banging on the cubbies, and like just all this different stuff that made it a lot more interesting, and you could tell like they were getting better as time went on. So really give them some time to think about that. After that, we really quickly listened to the song Jazz from Music K8. I also found this one on YouTube. I have the recording, but I got a new computer and it doesn't have a CD player in it. And they took away my desktop at school, so I was like, what am I gonna do about all these CDs that I have? So I still don't have a good answer to that. If you have ideas, let me know. But I did find this one on YouTube, so it's really cute, and I just have them, usually they have instruments, and so I just have them keep the beat while they listen to it, and that's just a really good way to do it. But I like this song because it goes through like characteristics of jazz in a song form, and so the kids actually remember it, which is wonderful. On Tuesday, the kids come in and we review that jazz Take 5 lesson that we did yesterday. So we go back through that, make sure that we just, you know, got it all good, and then we can do the reverse and like go through straight through the whole thing, and it's a lot of fun. And then after that, we are doing the jazz music bracket. So this is like a March Madness kind of thing, except it's no longer March, and I forgot to move these, but I will move them back. You can see what my kids picked. So basically it's a bracket, like a March Madness bracket, and you click on either the words or the little person, and it takes you to the slide with one of their pieces. Listen to the piece, listen to whoever's next to it. So like this one has Louis Armstrong and Thelonious Monk are connected, and then the kids vote for who they like better. So in this case, they liked Louis Armstrong better, so he moved up to the next round, and you keep going until you find the winner of them all. This is a freebie, so I will leave that linked down below. It's super quick. Actually it's not quick. It's fun, and it's actually really gets them engaged, but it takes, I will say, it takes like a good 30 minutes to really do it like all the way through. So just a heads up, and we don't listen to the whole thing, we just listen to like little clips, like maybe 30 seconds of each one, but it takes like pretty much a whole class period for us. But it's so much fun. They love it because they get to like talk about, you know, well, I think this person's better because of blah blah blah, and it's just hilarious. My kiddos, by the way, in case you were wondering, it came down to Duke Ellington and Billie Holiday, and they loved Billie Holiday. One of my music teacher friends, Rainey Barton from Whimsically Music Teacher, said that her kids hated Billie Holiday. So I don't know what that was about, but my kids loved her. They were like, Billie, they were like chanting her name. It was crazy. Okay, anyway, on a Wednesday, but I like this because they get to listen to lots of different people and lots of different songs, so it really gets them like, oh, this is what jazz is. Then on Wednesday, we go back through the song Jazz, and we keep the beat, and we learn some of the words. And then after that, we're looking at What a Wonderful World. So this is also a Google Slides, a lesson that I have that I will leave linked down below. We talk briefly about like what the song What a Wonderful World is, and we'll listen to it really quickly. And then after we listen to it, we are putting it in order. Oh, I need to move those. So I will play the song for the kids, and they drag the little cards into the correct order on the screen. So this is just a really good way to make sure that they are all listening and getting them involved and just paying attention and stuff like that. So it's just a really quick little thing, and it's a lot of fun. After that, honestly, I wanted to do the sign language that went along with this song, but frankly, we just ran out of time. And so instead, we just like looked at the instruments really quick of the song, and then we moved on from that. Thursday, we get started with the song Rondo alla Turca by Mozart. So I found a brass version of it, so it's just a brass ensemble, and what we do is we take a action, and the kids come up with an action for each of the different sections. So for A section, for the B section, and we just do those actions while we listen, so it gets them listening and also paying attention. And this is going into learning about the brass family. So we are doing the virtual field trip to the orchestra. So first thing we do is I kind of refresh them on the strings and the woodwinds, because that's what we talked about last time. And y'all, we had a beautiful moment today where my 4th graders, I was like, do woodwinds have to be made of wood? And they were like, no. And I was like, yes, you finally got it. So there is hope for them yet. Anyway, so we are going over the brass instruments. So that's why we did Rondo alla Turca. So I showed them the like characteristics of the brass instruments. This is also my TBT shop. I was determined this time. I was like, normally I like make all these new things every time I have a lesson. Today, I'm gonna use things I actually already have done, and it was glorious. I'm not gonna lie. So having all these things ready, glorious. So this just tells like the characteristics of the brass instruments. We listen to a quick YouTube video that has all of the different brass instruments and shows them playing, and then we look at the 4 main ones and listen to them talk about what they are, and specifically talking about the difference between the trumpet and the trombone. That's always like a big hang up with them. And usually that's it, and they get that figured out pretty quickly. If we do it really quickly, then we start on the percussion for tomorrow, and if not, then we just do our little exit ticket. And it looks like this, and there's little circles, and so the kids are just marking off the different ones. So today we learned about brass, so they'll take the red circles and put them over the brass instruments, and so that just shows me like, okay, they understand. And we've done it each time, so by the end of this week, they're all full, and we can be like, okay, we know what all of the different instruments are. Then on Friday, we're finishing that up. So we go through the percussion. Percussion is one of the easiest ones to go through, which is why I want to end with it, because it's super easy. So we talk about how that's anything you hit, scrape, or shake. We look at a whole bunch of different percussion instruments. We look at ones that are in my classroom, and then I have them go find things that they can hit, scrape, or shake. So they just go around their homes, because again, they're at home, and find anything they can use to hit, scrape, or shake that's not gonna break. Once they bring them back, I usually give them about a minute to go find anything they can. We sort through. So I'll say like, all right, Jacoby, what did you find? Great. Is that something you hit, scrape, or shake? And we'll write the items in this little chart in the percussion section. And so that just helps us like reinforce that concept. And then after that, we are playing Rondo alla Turca with a little like play along video from YouTube. And so it is the same song we did yesterday, so we have that like continuity, but they're playing it on whatever they found, and usually we have time to go through it twice. After that, we are doing a Kahoot to see who can identify the instrument family. So it shows like, oh, sorry, we're marking out the percussion, then we're doing a Kahoot showing the different instrument families, and they just say, you know, is this a woodwind, a string, a percussion, or a brass? Easy, easy peasy. There's tons of instrument identification and instrument family identification Kahoots, by the way. So if you are working on either of those concepts, you're good. Oh, and there's a really cool jazz one that's Princess and the Frog theme. So I wanted to see if I could squeeze that in sometime this week. I don't know where I'm gonna put it, but I'm like determined. Maybe on Wednesday. Maybe we can shorten What a Wonderful World. I don't know. I will think about it, but I did want to give you that little tip because it's talking about music, but I just thought it was fun because it was Disney themed. So there's that. All right, friends, that's everything I'm teaching my 4th graders. We are getting to the end of these videos, which is actually super exciting. I only have 5 weeks, including this week, of school left. So I'm very excited. My 4th graders just have this set of lessons, and then one more rotation, I believe, and then we're like at the end. I think there might be like a weird week where we'll just have some fun, but yeah, I'm so excited. So excited, it's almost summer. So I would love to know your favorite instruments of the orchestra lessons down below, because next time we're going to be doing like review of all of them and sorting them, and have some really fun ideas that I cannot wait to share with you. So make sure you hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss them. I make these videos every week, by the way, to share all of the lessons I'm doing with all of my classes. So literally, if you need to know anything that I've taught at all this year, I got you. I got you, because I've made one every single week, so you know literally every lesson I've done all year round. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.